I studied a Spanish major and a Latin American Caribbean studies. So I did a double major. I wish I could have gotten a minor in Portuguese, but I was a little too late on that train. So my advice would be if you were thinking about Portuguese, do Portuguese. So after graduation, it was a pretty chill summer. I had received in May my acceptance into the Peace Corps, so I was waiting around for departure in the September. Um, Very just chill. I don't think I had a job. I was just kind of doing arts and crafts. Um, and then in September, actually on September 11th, I went to Peru with my Peace Corps cohort because I did my Peace Corps service in Peru. Um, and when we got there, we had 3 long months of very intensive training. I even got to learn the indigenous language of Quechua. So they had certain people that were training for the native language and then certain that were doing Spanish. So I got to learn some cool new language skills, very difficult, and meet some really great people along the way, go through intensive training on, you know, skill development, how things work in Peru, the healthcare system, the educational system. It was really quite enlightening. And then actually a year ago today, or maybe a couple of days ago, would have been when I first arrived in my site, moved everything from the capital to a province just north of Lima, which is Ancash. And yeah, that's when it kind of all began from, after graduating to moving on to the next thing. That kind of goes back to high school. When I was in high school, I failed my first Spanish class, which is kind of not something you'd expect of a Spanish major to say, right? So, in trying to get better at my Spanish, I found a program called Amigos de las Americas. That's a high school volunteer program where you go and you get immersed in a culture and you learn about project implementation with other high schoolers from around the US. So that experience was very humbling in the fact that I started from very low language level and was able to see a big increase and just not even just language skills, but the connection you can make with people, even though your language might be choppy, was just something that was very eye-opening to me. So Amigos is like a starter for Peace Corps. It had kind of the same principles and the same goals basically. So I decided when I came home I was in Nicaragua that summer of 2014. When I came home, I decided that my end goal would be to study Spanish in college and keep my love of language going. And it led me to the Peace Corps. So yeah, I had a lot of privilege to be able to get into that program because it changed. I hate to sound cliche, but it really did change my life and my outlook for my future. And so right now I'm working for the Public Library of Fitchburg, which is maybe about 15 minutes from Madison. So I'm a library assistant. I get to pick certain books to highlight for the youth and also make virtual programming because it is COVID. It looks a lot different than the job would normally look. So I make videos every week to put on the Fitchburg Facebook page. And I can highlight books, I can do crafts. The sky's the limit. The topics really just whatever you want to take and do with it. So you really have to consider who your public is. And I think in the Fitchburg realm, it's a lot of immersion, some non-Spanish speakers that are being immersed in either school or after-school programs in Spanish. So depending on whether you're working with heritage speakers or non-heritage speakers, your programming is going to change. I have been able to reach out doing back in October and mid-September, that's Native American Heritage Month and Latinx Heritage Month. So I tried to focus a lot on Latinx voices picks for children, which is something, I mean, we see a lot of adult literature that say read Latinx voices, read Black voices. And so I wanted to figure out a way that we could get that to our children's literature in our youth departments. So I would choose a book to highlight, and then we do a craft about it, which is really fun. And now I'm actually doing bilingual story times. So anybody who speaks Spanish or is learning Spanish can join the video, and we just have maybe 10 to 15 minutes of either English and Spanish books that are like bilingual content, or just all Spanish. I didn't think I could have a job like that. I wasn't sure how I was going to use my Spanish or my major after graduation, but I would say there's a lot of opportunities out there that we don't even know about yet. So being able to use my Spanish in the work is really rewarding and affirming that I made the right choice, and that you always make the right choice if you're following what you love to do. And in that, it could be studying Spanish and Latin American studies.